45 miles south of Indianapolis, rural Monroe County. Circuit Court Judge Violia Taliaferro is holding court with 13-year-old Stephanie Meadway and her mom, Annie Allen.
Stephanie, how are you doing?
Fine.
Stephanie is a child in need of services, just as her mother was when she was young. Stephanie comes to court in June from a 2-month stay in a foster home. Today, she gets to go home. But by September, we see Stephanie as a child shouldering adult responsibilities.
I know that I've ruined my childhood.
A pregnant 7th grader and just weeks away from giving birth, Stephanie already knows she's having a daughter.
Yep. Well, from being on the monitor today, they said she was all right. They've listened to her heartbeat, and they said mostly her heartbeat sounds like a freight train or a train going across the tracks. So she's, I guess, fine and healthy.
The news astounds even Judge Taliaferro, who witnesses heartache on a daily basis.
It was just totally unexpected. Such a young age, trying to overcome so many other problems in her life. And what a responsibility for a child. It's almost unthinkable.
Stephanie's mom, Annie, knows this scene. She too was a teenage mother. Many times over the last several years, Annie's personal problems have left her unable to care for her 3 children. Stephanie has vivid recollections of her time in and out of foster care.
It's scary going into court, going into a foster home. Because I've been in a foster home maybe about a couple times. And I know the first time it was scary. And so I know I used to have my sister and brother sleep in bed with me. They'd all jump. I'd be stuck right in the middle. And then because the first foster home, we had a water bed, and then me and my sister shared the water bed, and my brother had a room. He'd sneak out of his room when the foster parents would go to bed and sleep with me.
But that brother, Corey, is no longer a part of the family. His foster parents adopted him.
From a mother that lost a child that's been adopted, I'm sad, I hurt. I just have to realize, well, okay, he's calling somebody else mommy. Has he forgotten about me? Does he love me? Does he, wish that he was home? It gets hard.
That adoption affected the way Stephanie thought about her own baby. After the next court hearing, she said she didn't consider that an option.
My brother got adopted a long time ago, and I didn't think about getting an abortion or adoption. I wanted to go through it, so. And my mom said no to adoption anyway, so.
Let's go on the record, please. In the matter of Stephanie Meadway, 53 C079904 JC208.
September 27th, 1999.
Do you know the address of the baby's father?
Annie Allen testifies that the alleged father of Stephanie's baby, now 19, is a longtime family acquaintance. He's been absent from Stephanie's pregnancy for the last 8 months, but is now trying to leave messages for her through a friend.
And I've told him to stop leaving messages with her. That there is a no contact order. He can't talk to her. He can't be around her. That if they continue to do this, that I will file a restraining order on them too, if I have to.
And so at 13, Stephanie will be a single mom. As she awaits the birth of her child, her advice to other kids her age is clear.
That if they go out and have sex like I did and get pregnant, they're awfully stupid.
In just a few weeks, Stephanie's life will change forever. In September, we left Stephanie Meadway and her mom Annie just weeks before Stephanie was due to give birth.
I need to have some idea from you how things are going to be handled after Stephanie gives birth.
As presiding judge over this case, Violia Taliaferro is extremely concerned about the well-being of the unborn child and how the family plans to cope.
What I need to know, though, is who's going to take care of the baby?
While she's at school?
Yes.
I am. But then I told Stephanie I would help her, but that this was her, not her responsibility.
This will be the last court hearing before Stephanie becomes a mom.
This is Kirsten Dawn Meadway. She's a porker. She weighed 9 pounds, 10 ounces, and was 22.5 inches long.
Kirsten Dawn Meadway was born October 18, 1999. After 13 hours of labor, doctors delivered the baby by C-section.
You're okay. I know your feet hurt. Say they done blood work on me and gave me shots last night.
7 days after Kirsten's birth, Stephanie's mom returns to Judge Taliaferro's court. Annie Allen has told us now for many months that she thinks of the judge as a second mom. But there is another purpose for today's hearing.
We have prepared a petition alleging that the baby is a child in need of services. The sole reason is because of Stephanie's age and that she's a ward herself.
Like Annie and Stephanie before her, Kirsten Dawn Meadway becomes a ward of the court.
We saw it 3 generations. Only time will tell whether Stephanie and Annie will be able to successfully raise that child. But I guess the larger question is, do they deserve the right to do so? I think they do.
Some people just look at me and laugh, and I'll just turn my head. It's like, no problem. Most of my friends will sit there and talk behind my back, and I'll look at them and ask what they're talking about. And I said, if you're talking about me, you can say it to my face and not behind my back.
Stephanie's pregnancy came as a surprise. I had no idea that they had even been together. I had not any reason not to trust Harvey because he was a family friend. It all was a surprise to me. I didn't find out that they had even had sex till the day we went to the doctor's office.
And my mom, I know she was worried because she started crying in the doctor's office. So I was worried.
I felt guilty. Well, did I do something wrong as a parent? Was I not watching her enough? Did I not supervise her enough? And then I thought, no, she had spent the night with my mom and snuck out of the house, snuck him in, and it was hard. It was hard.
Yes, we will ask the court to make that baby a Chin's, but for the purposes of providing services. That little girl, and I say little girl because she's 13 years old, the mother, is going to need all the help she can get. That's what we're going to be there for. Not to say you're being a bad mother, but to say these are the services you're going to need because you are 13 years old and you need help.
As a young mother myself, I knew it was hard for me at 18 to be a young mother, single mother, not married. It was hard to know that Stephanie at a younger age was going to be a mother.
I went to school. Well, we moved to Highmere, and then they wouldn't let me go to school.
Because you were pregnant?
Yeah, because they had other kids going home and telling their parents, and their parents would come in and kind of go off with the principal. So they wanted me to go to homeschooling that my school did.
I quit school at 17. I got pregnant when I was 18. Had my first child, no therapy, no nothing. I was out on my own besides my mother. I didn't have anybody to turn to talk to, like Stephanie does now, so I know what she's going through. I got into the drugs and the alcohol, and running around and being wild. I had my second child when I was 20. Had my second child by the time or my third child by the time I was 22. I didn't have time to grow up.
I know that I've ruined my childhood.
I assume that they will give her intensive parenting services. They'll have somebody with her showing her how to care for a child. Not that her mother can't do that also, but it's good to have the outside help. And we'll have somebody in the home offering her services, I would imagine, several days a week at her age. And hopefully she'll be able to care for the child.
Stephanie made a bad choice. But she's doing really well. She's come a long way from what she was. She's acting very mature. So educate your children about safe sex. If they're just insistent and sneaking out, put them on some kind of birth control. This is not an uncommon thing. It happens every day as life cycle goes around. 12, 13, 14-year-old girls are running around getting pregnant because they're not educated is what I feel. I didn't educate Stephanie. Maybe if I had educated her more on safe sex, not running around getting pregnant, they wouldn't happen. So educate your children.